Yes, it is I once more. Another loaf of bread fresh out of the oven just for you. Today's words of wisdom come to us by way of the philosopher king, Marcus Aurelius. And he says the following: the closer a person comes to a calm mind, the closer they are to strength. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I consider myself to be an anger junkie. Before my cubicle epiphany and before I started actually working on myself, anger was my drug of choice. I've always had a temper. I've always been a hothead. And of course, it has gotten me in trouble in the past, but even when it did get me into trouble, I never thought there was anything wrong with having a temper and being angry. And in fact, I got tremendous pleasure from flipping my lid and getting reckless and doing crazy stuff under the influence of anger. This line here that I've just shared with you is part of a greater theme in the meditations of Marcus Aurelius. I suspect that the man was prone to anger as well, because the number of times he coaches himself against getting angry with other people or with situations tells me that this was a recurring problem for him. And so I relate to that. And reading a line like this that equates tranquility and calmness with strength, well, 6 or 7 years ago, that line would have made me roll my eyes, because I used to think that anger was an asset. I used to think that anger had positive effects. I used to think that it was a tool or an aid in certain situations. And now I see things much differently. Now I can't imagine a situation where anger is a benefit. I can imagine situations where anger doesn't get in the way or doesn't make a situation worse, but I can never imagine a situation where it makes a situation better. And even when it doesn't make a situation worse, it is still poison. It is still toxic, and it is not good for the person who experiences it. I shared another quote from the meditations a while ago. I believe it was something to the effect of, the consequences of anger are always worse than the thing that brought it up, right? Somebody cuts you off in traffic, no harm, no foul. You didn't get into an accident. Everything's fine. But if you get mad at that, well, now you might start honking your horn and yelling and screaming and fingering the guy or the girl or whoever. And more importantly, the person who's experiencing that road rage, their heart rate goes up, and they've shown empirically, scientifically, that regularly experiencing anger and stress and all these other negative emotions is actually bad for you physiologically. It depletes your immune system. It's just bad for you, bad all around. And so anger is something that I'm always on the lookout for. And anytime I experience it in myself, anytime I feel it, I make note of it. And I keep my eye on it very closely. And I start to question the things that brought it up, because I know better. There's no reason, no valid excuse for getting angry, no matter what. Little lines like this one from Marcus really help me to stay focused and to stay calm and stay balanced, equanimity, right? Having an equal or a balanced temperament or soul. Somebody who has this quality of equanimity can't be shaken, can't be stirred. They are stable. And that's what I strive for in my life. Don't always succeed. But the fact that I even know it's an issue and that I'm trying to deal with it and that I'm making efforts, to me, is victory enough. Because if I keep working at it, slowly but surely, the instances of anger in my life will dwindle. And that's what they've been doing steadily for the last few years. And let me tell you something, living without anger is a beautiful thing. It's freeing and it feels so good, especially when you enter into a situation that normally would have triggered your anger and you feel nothing except for this sort of stillness within you. That's addicting, intoxicating in a different way. It makes me feel empowered and it makes me feel invincible, to be honest with you. So it's much better than anger, and it's superior in every way, and it makes me feel like I'm actually making progress with myself. So that's my view on anger and my view on this line from Marcus. What's your view? I'm always interested in hearing what you have to say, so please don't hesitate. Leave a comment below or hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or wherever I am, and I will gladly converse with you, because that's what I'm looking for. Good conversations. I think that's it for me. What time is it? Time for me to go. Take care of yourselves out there. It's a crazy world. Try to stay sane, and as always, don't forget to live well.